April 2026 is shaping up to be another busy month of game releases for both the Switch and Switch 2. Here's the big releases that you need to know about, including some physical releases too. Goat Simulator 3 comes out for the Switch 2 on April 1st. That means it's out now on the eShop. Just like the prior games in the series, you get to play as a goat and explore a big sandbox, licking, headbutting, and causing as much destruction as a goat possibly can, which apparently is a lot. The Switch version came out a few years ago, but this being the Switch 2 version, you'll get to finally enjoy the game with much better frame rates and better visual quality. Plus, this has game share, and you can share the game for multiplayer sessions, both locally and online through game chat. Of course, the game also supports regular online multiplayer too. Konami's next game is out April 2nd, and it stars an octopus in a platformer. As the octopus, you must use their abilities to somehow make it back to the ocean. Those abilities being that he's super sticky and he's able to shoot ink and stuff. This adventure will have him going all over the place, into offices, cities, a warehouse, and more. Basically places octopuses shouldn't be, and doing so while getting into lots of trouble. I'll be honest, this game looks pretty cool, and it's nice to see Konami doing something new with a new IP, other than doing remakes or a game collection release. I mean, I like those, but it's nice to see something new for once. There's a Switch 2 demo in the eShop that you can check out if you want. Free to start game Pokémon Champions comes out on April 8th for both the original Switch and Switch 2 systems. A release for mobile platforms is expected to come out sometime later this year. Pokémon Champions is intended to be the next playground for competitive Pokémon and the platform for competitive VGC going forward. Strictly a multiplayer experience only, players can import Pokémon through Pokémon Home, or obtain Pokémon through Pokémon Champions itself, and battle them in various singles and doubles formats. Pokémon obtained in Champions can only be used for 7 days, though there are paid ways to make those rentals permanent. Obviously, I'd recommend just importing your mons through Pokémon Home. There will be battle passes, a monthly subscription option, and other paid content, basically the works as you expect with any free-to-play game. The Switch 1 system isn't dead yet. I know I've said that before, but it truly isn't dead, as a new major release is coming out on April 16th, that being Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream from Nintendo themselves. In this game, you create Mii characters and have them hang out on your virtual island. It's a social simulation game. Just note, nothing is normal about these Mii's daily lives. Expect a lot of funny and random moments to occur, surprise relationships, and lots of craziness. Their Tomodachi games are very, very weird, and that's why people love them so much so. If you like some weird, crazy stuff, then you definitely have to check out Living the Dream when it comes out on April 16th. The physical edition of Xenoblade Chronicles Cross, Definitive Edition, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, yeah, what a name there, arrives April 16th. This release includes the Switch version of Xenoblade Chronicles Cross, along with the Switch 2 upgrade pack on the same cart. The upgrade pack has been a bit divisive among players. I mean, the 60 FPS upgrade is pretty nice. I don't think anyone doubts that, but the way they have gone around upgrading the textures and the shimmering effect of the textures, especially in handheld mode, hasn't been the greatest. If you already own the game, you can pick up the upgrade pack off the eShop for just $4.99 USD. Mouse PI for Hire comes out on the Switch 2 on April 16th as well. And this is a first-person shooter that has an art style that is very reminiscent or very inspired by those classic black and white cartoons of the 1930s. It looks absolutely wild, as well as pretty violent for a game that's inspired by old cartoons. Well, maybe the violence is spot on. I mean, some of those Looney Tune cartoons could be pretty violent themselves. Anyway, this game features over 20 levels, with over a dozen different weapons and equipment to use, and it includes some elements from the Metroidvania genre, with unlockable abilities and traversal elements. Adventure game OPUS Prism Peak comes out on April 16th. This game's story follows a photographer who is stranded in the Dusklands as he travels with a girl who's lost her memory. You'll need to use the photographer's camera to take photos, as well as get the perfect shot as you explore. Presentation-wise, this looks really good, with 3D exploration and all that. Most adventure games tend to be 2D affairs, so it's nice to see a 3D game in the genre. And the use of a camera to push along the narrative and discover things is a pretty cool concept. Fans of adventure games might have their next winner when it comes out on April 16th. The Switch and Switch 2 physical releases of Marvel Cosmic Invasion arrives in stores on April 17th. The Switch 2 version is not a game key card. It's going to be a full retail on-the-card release. So for those who worry about stuff like that, they got you covered with this physical version. Of course, the game is already out now on the eShop, but for those who prefer physical, I'm sure you're going to be happy with this. As for the game, it's a pretty awesome beat-em-up from developers Tribute Games who worked on the very popular Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. This one has you choosing from 15 playable superheroes, a pretty big roster of characters for a beat-em-up, and you can actually choose 2 characters at a time, and you can swap between those 2 characters at any point during a level. This allows you to pull off some pretty crazy combos, as well as employ some tactics as you beat up the bad guys within the levels. It is a pretty cool game. PRAGMATA is set to come out on Switch 2 on April 17th, and this might be the biggest game to come out in April. This effectively completes the trifecta of the big 3 releases from Capcom in early 2026, with Resident Evil Requiem and Monster Hunter Stories 3 being the other 2 big releases to already come out. We will see if this one gets as highly reviewed as the other 2 games. This game is a brand new IP from Capcom that has you playing as the spacefarer Hugh as he teams up with the android Diana, who happens to look like a young girl. As Hugh, you can move around, use a jetpack, explore, and shoot from a third-person perspective, but you also need to complete little hacking puzzles with the help of Diana to gain access to things such as weak points against enemies. Effectively, it's like a third-person shooter with some light puzzle game elements. It makes for a pretty eclectic mix. There is a demo in the eShop that you can check out if you're curious. Personally, I wasn't really sure about the game, but after trying the demo, I gotta say I'm pretty interested now. Seems like the game's gonna run at a high frame rate, which is a good thing. I'm interested in the kinda funny dynamic that Hugh and the android Diana have going on, and the gameplay does have me intrigued. I want to see how far they push the real-time combat with the puzzle solving and all. I'm really looking forward to this one. Outbound comes out on April 23rd for both the Switch and Switch 2 systems, with the physical Switch 2 release not being a keycard game. It'll all be on the cart. Outbound is an open-world game set in the near future that has you starting out with an empty camper van, and you can turn it into the type of home that you want. You can add to your moving base, as well as craft furniture with the material that you scavenge and obtain, and you can grow your own garden. And you can do all this in solo play, but also with others via online play. It looks pretty good, and I'm sure that Cozy fans are interested in this upcoming release. There is a demo in the eShop that you can check out if you're curious about the game. And that's the top 10 games coming out for the Switch and Switch 2 for April 2026. So which games are you excited about? Personally, I got my eye on PRAGMATA. The demo for it actually sold me on the game. I'm going to try to pick it up when it comes out. I'm also going to try to check out Pokémon Champions to see how that is, especially since it seems like some members of the Kaiju Club Discord seem like they're going to do the same. I mean, why not? It is free to start. Anyway, in the meantime, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you do not miss out on any future videos. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you soon on the next video.